Hello, loves. It's your girl, Racy Reviews. So, welcome home, where today we'll be discussing Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 8, Episode 8 Sunni's Destiny Has Arrived. Let's get on into the video. So, we pick up where we last left off yet again. We are in a coffee shop with Melody and Marsau. She is amped up because she done seen the message that Marsau messaged to someone in a blog and pretty much said free Martell. And that set Melody all the way off. She started talking about free Tisha. And she basically says, when you see DV associated, how could you even say free Martell? You could have, with that same energy, picked up your phone, messaged me, and said, hey, Mel, hope you and the kids are okay. Marsau says if he would have said that, he would have probably got a reply back saying, who's this? She said, I have your number in my phone. He said, I don't feel comfortable messaging you with this whole moving forward thing that we're doing. She said, well, why don't you get your wife to message me? He said, my wife ain't comfortable either. When it comes to you, sometimes if we ask questions, you feel like we're fishing. Melody's like, look, I want y'all to give me the same courtesy that I give y'all. If someone in the blogs or whatever asks about you, your wife, your business, what you got going on, I say nothing. And I just want the same thing in return. Somehow, some way, we start talking about the millimeters yet again. So basically, he says to Mel that he doesn't talk about her. And she said, yes, you have. And then we see a flashback of when he insinuated that he had photos of her mother, which was crossing the line. And he said, well, you have a group of zombies following you, your millimeters. They do things that you encourage. And she's like, oh, okay, I'm going to let you get that out. So he's basically calling her millimeters deplorables, saying that she encourages their terrible behavior. They're a bunch of zombies that follow her blindly and do whatever she says. And she's like, you want me to control people that I do not know on the internet? And he interjects with try to, meaning he knows that she cannot control the millimeters, but he's wanting her to publicly say, stand down, pretty much. But Mel rebuttals with, you want me to control people that I don't know, that I've never met, while your mother-in-law has been calling me all types of bees for years, and you can't control her. Touche now. Mel does have a point. Miss Wanda goes hard on Mel day in and day out, and no one can control Miss Wanda and their family. So if they can't control family, then how can she control fans? I agree with that. Gotta say, I really do agree with that. Mel has had it. She is trying to get on up out of there, but not before telling Marsau, tell your family to keep my mother name out of their mouth and my kids' name out their mouth. And with that, she was gone. Peace out. She's out of there. Marsau ends up saying, don't worry about the check. I'll go ahead and pay. That's what they all do. They get up, they get mad, they walk out, and they don't pay. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next scene. In this next scene, we have Stormi and Destiny. They're meeting up to kind of talk about everything that happened. Stormi says that she does not want to keep Destiny blindsided. She wants her to know what's going on for her gala because, of course, she's clearing the air with everybody and she's letting everybody know what to expect come her day. So they sit and they talk, and she asks Destiny how Law is. She says Law is doing good. Last time she saw Stormi and Chess, Law was calling him baby, but Chess is getting bigger. Chess is just almost the same size as Destiny's son. And so they kind of talk about that. They also speak about what Stormi has going on. She said that she's about to actually change warehouses and move into a bigger warehouse. She states that because of the issue that she had with a millimeter slash blogger on YouTube, she basically, the lady came to her warehouse and she felt violated. And what if, the lady pulled up on her? Anything could have happened. So she basically said that her moving to a different warehouse is going to be like a kind of moment. So she's excited about that. They ended up speaking about the podcast that Stormi went to where Carlos was interviewing Melody. And then that's when they had that initial podcast in episode 1 where Sunny and Moses made their debut. She tells Destiny that, the vibes were cool. And she's like, it was cool at the podcast? And she's like, yeah, between me and Mel. Then we see a flashback to the podcast where her and Mel, briefly spoke for a little bit. And Destiny wants to know if it's genuine. She tells Destiny she thinks that it is. And so Destiny in her confessional states that Melody wants everybody to operate in a form of black and white with her, but she can play in the gray all day. You can't really be Cruella DeVille and be playing in the gray. You got to stick to your black and white. Destiny basically states that she wanted to kind of get the vibes with Mel in regards to her and Martell because she did not see Martell at Nell's birthday party. She states that she told Mel that she invited Martell to model, and Mel basically said she's not coming because Martell is going to be there. Destiny wants to know why she invited them anyway. And Stormi says she invited everybody. She just, it's a lover and friends gala event, and it's very important to her and Canvas Beauty, which is her brand. And she wants to invite everybody and pretty much have a clean slate with all people. Everybody comes out, even if they're not together, bring their friends. It's a night of love and celebration. She then informs Destiny that she pretty much knows that Melody's not coming because even though Martell may not be modeling, just because he's in the building, Mel would not be there. She goes on to then tell her that she did invite Sunny and Moses, and she wanted to know what kind of happened with Destiny. Did Destiny speak to Sunny and Moses? She said that she spoke to Moses, and Moses did not bring his wedding ring, or did not wear his wedding ring rather, and they were going back and forth, and he was saying that, him and Sunny was professional and her producer, and they both try to help her. And she's like, basically, you wanted me to pursue you and woo you like I was the man and you were my woman, and I wasn't doing that, and now we're not together. So Stormi's like, oh, he got his feelings hurt. Oh, poor baby, he got his feelings hurt. And this is when she basically says, well, I did invite Sunny and Moses. And Destiny said at first she did feel away, but now she doesn't feel anything. Stormi wants to know if she ever met up with Sunny. And she's like, what I need to meet up with her for? No, I did not meet up with her. And that's the end of that. So let's move on to the next scene. In this next scene, we see Marsau and we see MJ Hall. MJ Hall is a female that works with Scout. She was brought on to be property manager, and she's like moving up in the ranks in the Scout company. So in walks Tisha. Tisha then basically is talking to the both of them about what the next steps are, and MJ is going to go ahead and help somebody who's over at Black. Marsau then brings it to Tisha's attention that it's her 1-year anniversary, and she's like, oh, Scout? And MJ's like, no, my wedding anniversary. And she's like, oh my God, you made it past the first year, that's really good. And she's like fanning herself and stuff like that. And Marsau was like, it's not that serious. We weren't like that in the first year. It was pretty good. And so that's when Marsau introduces the fact that he had coffee with Mel. And he's like, Mel gathered me like how she gathered you and Kimmy. And she's like, oh, Mel gathered you too. She's gathering everybody one by one. So he basically says that Mel spoke with him about the conversation that he had with the blogger in regards to Martell being locked up. He saying that, she was upset about it. And Tisha's like, look, it wasn't even that serious. It wasn't even that bad. You didn't say anything that bad. You just made a comment. Not that deep. And then he said, well, moving on to that, we spoke about basically the millimeters being deplorable fans and how they listened to her. And he brought up Miss Wanda, Tisha's mom, and how Mel said, you want me to control fans and people that I don't know, and you can't control your mother-in-law. And Tisha's like, well, I have tried to tell my mother, to stop talking about Mel altogether. And then he said, yeah, but, your mom is still talking about Mel. So Mel does have a valid point. And I agree with that. Mel does have a valid point. Millimeters are people that are in her fan base that go hard for her, that she does not know personally. Some people she does know. Um, some people are part of that millimeter crew she does definitely know. And some people she doesn't know that still go hard for her just the same. But she can't control them and tell them what to do, especially people that she doesn't know. And that woman that is going after her, Miss Wanda, is Tisha's mother. So because this is Tisha's mother, Tisha is able to say something to her mother. And Tisha's rebuttal is basically like, look, she calls her fans to activate. She tells them to activate. I've told my mother several times not to talk about Mel. I've tried to talk to my mom. The thing is, Mel does not talk to her fans and tell them to chill out. Actually, she is okay with what they're doing. She knows what they're doing. She can control them. She can say something, period, but she doesn't. And she basically states, even though she's tried to tell her mom not to talk about Mel, basically she can't tell her mama what to do. Just like Mel can't tell these fans what to do either. But Tisha seems to think that these fans listen to her. I mean, they do listen to her as far as purchasing her merchandise, but tell them not to curse out somebody that they don't like anyway. Yeah, they're going to curse out. They're going to curse out who they don't like because they don't like y'all anyway. So I think that's really what the situation is. And no, we're just going to go ahead and move on to the next scene where we see Stormi and everything is coming together for the gala. They're getting everything together and Trish and Ken walk in. Trish definitely seems very, very nervous about what is to come. Stormi's like, let me just explain this to you. So basically, you're going to walk out here, you're going to do the sexy turn, and she asks Ken, like, is he okay with taking her shirt off? And Ken is all for it. He said he bought some, silk boxers, and Stormi's like, yes. Ooh, you're prepared. I love it. And Trish, on the other hand, is like, oh my God. And Stormi's like, are you nervous? She's like, yes, because it's me. And in confessional, Stormi is like, I don't even know what is wrong with Trish. Why is she so nervous? Does she see her body? Like, basically, if Stormi had Trish's body, Stormi would be fighting to put clothes on. Now we move on to the next scene. So now we have finally reached the Lovers and Friends Gala, and the couples are starting to come in. We see Stormi's parents, but they don't put a highlight on Stormi's parents. Well, we do see Stormi's parents in the beginning of that scene. We see Sunny and Moses, Nell and Chris, and of course, we see Stormi and Courtney. So Stormi says to Sunny, I'm glad to have you. I hope you guys have a great time tonight. And she says, I hope so. And Stormi's like, what do you mean you hope so? She's like, some people, we leave a bad taste in some people's mouths. And in Stormi's confessional, she said that, now that she sees that Sunny and Moses are definitely there, she just hopes everything goes good, everything goes how it's supposed to be. And, she doesn't want her event to be ruined, but she does have a space in the back just in case people need to talk so that they don't ruin the event. As Chris and Nell come in, they're excited. They see, the dancers dancing. And then they go, okay, they're kind of laughing about it. And then they spot Sunny and Moses. Nell is like, wait a minute. What in the world are they doing here? She is so confused at why Sunny and Moses would be there, especially because she knows the dynamic of the relationship between Destiny and Stormi. So she does go up, her and Chris go up, and they do introduce themselves. This is the first time on screen that Sunny and Moses, as well as Chris and Nell, have together. Sunny does say, I did meet you before, and talks about the wine tasting event for Martell, which happened about a year prior. And, Sunny and Nell start to go to the side, move on to the side to talk. Nell's like, well, I just want to know pretty much, like, what's tea? Now wants to know what's tea, what's going on. How did her and Moses get together? Like, wasn't she the producer of Destiny? How did this come to be? And Sunny starts, going down the rabbit hole, stating that when she met Moses again, because let's be clear, she has met Moses and been in company with Moses several times during Destiny's relationship to Moses. So this is why I'm so confused as to why Sunny is pretending as if the relationship between Destiny and Moses was not an actual serious relationship. She calls it a side chick being flown out and blah, blah, blah. But you've been in company with them while they were in a relationship. So you knew firsthand that they had a relationship. So why are you downplaying it now? Oh, because you got a ring, you're trying to downplay what she had? Yeah, no. So she's explaining that when she met Moses again, that he was dating several other women. So she doesn't understand why Destiny's trying to make it seem like, it was this long going relationship, which it was not. And girl, you be loud and wrong for real, because you contradict yourself at every single point. You contradict yourself. It's either they were in a relationship or they were not in a relationship. You talk about them being in a relationship and then you try to downplay it and say she was just a side chick, but it was a relationship. It wasn't a side chick type of situation. It was a relationship. And regardless of the fact that you have him now, you cannot downplay, or you should not, because you can do whatever you want. You can downplay it if you want to, but you're just making yourself look stupid and foolish. You're basically saying that when he was dating you, he was dating a whole bunch of women at the same time. So y'all were all in the company of being side chicks. If that's the way you want to put it, then that would mean that you were a side chick as well, until he decided to make you his wife, because he was still dating other people. Okay, so she goes through that spiel, and then she has to pretty much admit to Nell, I was, around them together while they were a couple, because that's one of the questions that Nell had. So now you are admitting to being in company with Moses when you're being in his presence. Not saying that y'all were dating or fooling around or talking during the time, but you did confirm to Nell that you are aware that that was her man, because you were in company with them while she was with Moses. So again, I'm not understanding why you're trying to downplay. I get it. You're married to him now. So whatever he did or whatever relationship he had with Destiny's in the past, therefore you can't say, well, that was a past relationship, which is accurate. However, don't try to downplay what he was to Destiny because you feel insecure about your decisions. You made the decision to marry the man. Don't feel insecure about your decision. Stand 10 toes down in it. Yeah, that was her man, but it's mine now. Just do that, sis. You might as well just do that instead of trying to downplay Destiny's spot in this man's life. Because clearly, based on his actions, he was dumb hurt when he got left. He was dumb hurt when Destiny left him. Let's be very clear. By his own admission, the way he was carrying on and acting with Destiny in scene and behind the scenes shows that this man was dumb hurt when he was dismissed, and he had no choice but to move on to someone else, anyone else, because he couldn't have who he wanted at the time. Let's not act like he dropped Destiny. Destiny did drop him, and that has been clarified numerous times. Nell is like, girl, it looked like mess. And Nell is 100% right. It's very messy, and it does look very, very, very messy. But Sunny's going to try to play all day in everybody's face when the reality of the situation is you knew that man was with Destiny. Was he with Destiny at the time when you guys were together? Based on receipts, yes, in the beginning. However, he decided to make you his wife. And that's just the end of that. Girl, you got the man, so I'm not understanding why you coming so hard or have an issue with whatever Destiny's saying. It should be irrelevant, and she should be somebody irrelevant to you. I'm just not understanding why this is your storyline. And as a producer, you knew that this would be your storyline because you knew that the only introduction that you can make to Huntsville would be talking about the fact that you are with Destiny's ex-man. Anyway, continuing on. Nell basically tells Sunny, hey, does it look bad? Yes, but you love who you love, and who am I to tell you whatever? Nell gives her a hug, and Nell is, she's trying to be nice. She doesn't want to judge her, but based on her storyline, based on the timeline and whatever she's running down to Nell, Nell can tell that it's very, very messy, and it seems very, very wrong. Nell goes over to Stormi and is like, this right there, that right there, that was very interesting. She basically said that Sunny told her that her and Moses both tried to reach out to Destiny, and Destiny did not answer the phone for both of them. Instead, she decided to go on a podcast and talk about it, and she felt like that was very vengeful of her to do, because both her and Moses tried to reach out. Stormi says she doesn't get vengeful from Destiny at all, and neither does Nell, because both of them have already spoken to Destiny about the situation, and they don't think it's vengeful. But at the same time, Stormi did say, hey, look, it does seem wrong, but then on the flip side, love is love, and you can't help who you love, so, it ain't none of my business. I don't know enough to judge her. I don't know her like that to judge her. But at the same time, it does seem, it seemed kind of trite. It seems wrong. But then again, it's none of our business. I'm just trying to move on and enjoy my Lovers and Friends gala. And not to mention, Sunny did tell Nell that she only dated him seriously for about 90 days. And when she did try to reach out to Destiny, it was literally right before she dropped their marriage photos. The real tea is that they actually got married 2 days after she called Destiny. They already knew they was getting married 2 days later. So you waited till 2 days before you got married. Meanwhile, you claim you was dating him seriously for 90 days, but you waited until 2 days before your wedding to say that y'all are in a relationship and it's getting serious. So getting serious means what? Y'all are about to be exclusive, right? Getting serious doesn't mean y'all gonna get married 2 days later. But anyway, Destiny comes in, and as she comes in, she's looking very pretty. Her outfit is very interesting. I'm not really feeling the hood, but I like the dress in itself. I'm just not feeling the hood at all. But she comes in, she greets everybody, and when Sunny sees her, Sunny says in a confessional, she wanted to speak with Destiny because she didn't want to be side-eyed the whole night, and she didn't want anybody snickering or talking about her in her presence. So she did want to go ahead and bring her over to the side and speak to her. So she did ask Stormi if it was okay. Stormi, in confessional, stated that she didn't want her event to be ruined, so she did set up a room in the back so that they could both talk, so that nothing would happen to her event like what happened in the prior season at a Galentine's Day event. So Sunny goes up to Stormi and asks Stormi, can we speak? Would you like to come back and have a conversation with me in the back? And Destiny's like, I would not. She doesn't want to talk to her, but at the same time, Destiny says she's growing and evolving. She's going to go ahead and speak to her and see what it is that she has to say. So Stormi escorts Sunny and Destiny to the back where they start to have their conversation. Sunny's like, well, I reached out to you, you didn't pick up the phone. And Destiny was like, well, why would I do that? She's like, well, because I was trying to talk to you about it, but you went on a podcast. And Destiny's like, well, I'm a public figure. I'm allowed to talk about my life, my public life. And she's like, well, you weren't a public figure at that time because you weren't on the show. And she's like, your title does not go away just because you're not filming on the show. You're still a public figure once you open your life publicly. And she was like, well, you didn't have to talk about me and Moses on a podcast. And she was like, well, I'm going to say what I want to say. Like, basically, the conversation was really going nowhere. Destiny said, when did y'all get together? She said, I gave him my number in July. We was together around July, August. Destiny's like, well, me and him were still together in July, August. And then Sunny was like, but he was in a whole relationship with another woman. Sunny, you sound crazy as hell. You're saying that you gave him the number in July and August, and then you also confirmed that he was with a whole nother woman. Okay. So Destiny was like, well, how does that make you look? Like, so you was a side chick to two women? She said, oh, but on the podcast, you said that you and him had broken up 5 months prior And she was like, but me and him was still talking. Me and him was still talking in July and August. She was like, oh, but maybe you was a side chick. You spit out false information. You said I was a side chick to this man while he was married. And she was like, well, he's been with his ex-wife since he was 17. And she was like, Destiny was like, listen, when he was married and divorced, he was in prison. Me and this man had absolutely no contact. When I met this man, he was single and so was I. So you're leaving out false information, and here comes Sunny now with the, oh, well, you gave false information too. She said, what false information did I give? And that you was a side chick? She was like, oh, I'm not a side chick, sweetie. I'm the wife, and shows her ring. And then Destiny was like, and what's that supposed to mean to me? You won, right? You won. You played dumb games. You win stupid prizes. He's sleeping with the whole of St. Louis. Dumb girls is calling me. And here goes Sunny. He did that with you. He's not doing that with me. I'm with him every day. Sunny, girl, if you have the man and you happy with the prize that you got, girl, just move on with that. There's no reason for you as the wife to be confronting or pulling to the side the person you consider a side chick. If you consider her to be a side chick, you shouldn't even be associating yourself with her or wanting to have any conversations with her, period. I don't understand why you would be pulling someone you consider a side chick whose relationship with Moses you considered so insignificant, while you would be pulling her to the side to have a conversation with her. Destiny's not pulling you to the side to have a conversation with you. You're the one pressed and pulling her to the side to have a conversation. You're doing this. And for you to wear a producer's hat, you know exactly how that's going to make you look. And yet you're doing it anyway. You have firsthand knowledge of being a producer on Love and Marriage Huntsville. So you know, as a producer of Love and Marriage Huntsville, as a prior or former producer, what they're going to air on the show. And for you to be the woman in the leading position as a wife and not a side chick, for you to be pulling somebody you think is insignificant, doesn't play a proper role, was a side chick, was nobody important, for you to feel like you need to bring her to the side to ask why she didn't pick up your phone call 2 days before you got married to a man that she dated that you knew she was dating, is crazy to me. Girl, why are you doing it? You really want to be on the show that bad? There's nothing in this world that would have convinced me to go to the person I feel is insignificant and ask them why they didn't pick up the phone for me, but they're talking about me and my husband. And what? Girl. Anyway, Stormi's looking like, is everything okay? She basically says, oh, that conversation went well. As Destiny goes out, she sees Martell. She tells Martell that Sunny and Moses is there. She just had a conversation. Martell was like, did you throw any drinks at her in her face? And she was like, no, I didn't. I'm healing. But at the same time, you need to be my bodyguard tonight. And Martell is, making jokes about throwing drinks. Sunny goes over and sits by her husband Moses, and he already laughing and shaking his head because he already know the conversation went left. And basically, Sunny says to him, well, you dropped the ball and I picked it up and I scored. And he's like, you told her that? I wish they would have showed, if she did tell her that, they should have showed that part of it. Because there's no way, I don't believe that she told that to Destiny. Because I think Destiny's healing journey would have been over. And that's point blank, period. She said, well, I don't know about you. We can go ahead and leave this little party. The sandwiches is nasty. We could just go ahead and get out of here. So her and Moses get up. She's like, I'm ready to leave when you are. But she gets up first, meaning I'm ready to get on out of here. And her and Moses, they exited. Let's go ahead and move on to the next scene. We're still at the gala, and now it's time for the festivities to begin. Martell goes and he greets everybody. And he greets Ken and Trish. And Trish is like, you flaked. I heard you flaked out on us. And he is just like, no, I was never really in. It was contingent on how my body was going to look. And I don't look like this man over here. And was pointing over to Ken. And Nella's like, well, I thought you was going to take your shirt off. I just wanted to see that. Her and Destiny are clapping up each other and laughing about it. And he was like, y'all not going to have me embarrassed with my dad bod. She was like, oh, are you feeling away because you don't look like Megatron over there? No refer to Ken. No refer to Ken as Megatron. I was dying. And Martell was like, I don't have a body like Chris, so I'm not gonna go up there. I don't have a body like your husband, so I'm not gonna go up there. Stormi in confessional said that she was kind of shocked that Martell didn't do the modeling for the gala. All the girls was ready to rub Martell down, but she said that she feels like Martell has a fear of being in the public. She feels like he has a fear of it. So he used his body, his dad bod, as he calls it, as an excuse for his fear. But she really wanted him to do it because all the girls was really excited about Martell coming and showing off his body. They wanted to see him and rub him down. So Trish and Ken come out. They do their little 1-2. You know, the ladies is dancing around them. The body drops is being used. Trish said that she was talking to Ken through her teeth, like, when is this going to be over? He's coaching her through it. They did it. And it's like, Trish, you always talking through your teeth, girl. You talk through your teeth a lot, girl. On this show, or they show is you talking through your teeth. So I'm not understanding what the difference is. But hey, okay. Now that that's over and, you know, all is said and done, Nell and Destiny go outside. Nell tells Destiny, yes, you know, I did go ahead and speak to Sunny, and she was telling me that, you know, her and Moses met from back home. She did tell me that, you know, you guys did go to a party or something like that together. Destiny was telling Nell that Sunny was definitely embellishing. She said that she introduced Sunny to Moses at Destiny's birthday dinner, and it was just Destiny, Moses, one of Destiny's friends or accountants or something like that with a +1, and Sunny and her dude. And Moses and Sunny actually sat next to each other. Now I was like, wait, she made it seem like it was a whole bunch of people there and it was a party. She's like, no. So literally, they went out for her birthday dinner with 6 people, and Sunny was one of the 6. Destiny feels extremely hurt by the situation. She said when all of that went down with her, Sunny and Moses never contacted her. Sunny said that both her and Moses tried to contact Destiny, which was not true. And he also did confirm that he did not contact Destiny when they had their sit-down conversation. So Sunny, once again, caught in a lie, saying that both her and Moses reached out when she knew that Moses never reached to Destiny. What is really upsetting with Destiny, she feels like not only was her relationship lost with Moses, but the friendship was lost as well. She stated that, of course, she did love Moses. She's known him for 15 years. She's been through some really tough times with him being there. And she's very hurt by the situation. And she said, you know, life is going to go on. And she feels like Moses picked Sunny to hurt her. Because out of all the women in St. Louis that he could have spoken to, he chose to speak to Sunny, knowing that Sunny was someone that she knew and had a closer relationship with. So she feels like he picked out Sunny to get back at Destiny. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next scene. In the next scene, we are back with Stormi and Courtney. Stormi's at home with Bree, who is the babysitter for Chess, and little Chess, and he is so cute, watering the plants and stuff like that. So pretty much she's recuperating and spending some time to chill out after her Lovers and Friends gala, and Courtney walks in. Courtney walks in and basically is like, look, I just came from the warehouse and there was some police there looking for you. Stormi's like, what? Please. Like, she thinks that he's totally lying to her because she states that she don't live that type of life where police would be looking. So she's like, how many police? And he said, 2. Well, I ain't about to lie to you about no police. I think you need to pretty much speak to your lawyer. So as she goes off to speak to the lawyer, Bree's talking to Courtney, and she's like, so wait a minute, there's like 2 police officers? And he was like, yeah, 2 police officers came to the warehouse looking for Stormi. So Stormi comes back and says, I have 2 warrants for my arrest. One for harassing communications and the other for disorderly conduct from when that stalker lady came to my warehouse. And so Bree's like, what? So she came to your warehouse and yet you have the warrant? Why do you have the warrant? And someone's like, because I cursed her out. That's why. Now I have to turn myself in because if they see me outside, they catch me outside, they could just arrest me. So Stormi's over it. She starts crying. Courtney pulls her up, hugs her, and tells her, we're going to get through this. And that's how we end the episode. This was overall a really good episode. I enjoyed it. I can't wait to see what's coming up next and all the things to come. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Speak to me in the comments so I can speak back. I don't want to be talking to myself. And, tell me what you thought about this episode. What do you think about the how the actual show is progressing? Do you think that you're happy that new characters are introduced? Do you think the new characters are boring? Do you want to change in characters? I definitely want to review outfits because I really feel like the outfits are review worthy, good, bad, or indifferent. But anyways, let me know if you would like something like that. Leave it down in the comments below. Until next time, bye.